We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
Season 11, number one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how it usually starts. Yeah.
Huh.
Start with one, and then you move through 12, and then we graduate a season. So happy season 11, Dave.
Hey, here's to you, man. Season 11,
Clink.
episode 121.
Unbelievable. And now that we've talked, I'm having a hard time. So 6:51. All right. We're an hour early tonight.
Well, it's daylight savings.
Oh, is that why?
So really
No.
it's wait a minute. Shit. It's the same time. Really, it's 7 o'clock.
It's
See, that's
just
what
as
it
dark.
was. It felt right. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. You still adapting to the time change?
I don't know that really affects me. I had a conversation with our assistant this past week, and
Yeah.
she was trying to tell me that because of the hour setback, it's dangerous. There's more heart attacks, and it messes with our some sort of rhythm. And I'm like, that's bogus.
Cicadic
Yeah,
rhythm or
circadian
something like
rhythm
that?
or whatever.
Oh,
With the
okay.
bugs with the long wings.
Do you remember in the
Yeah.
70s they came out with that you had three rhythms in your body. It was like mental, physical, and I forget what the third one was. And
Jive.
jive. And then they had this calendar you would work to see when all three would peak at the same time.
Was
Gosh,
that
I
what
gotta remember.
did you get that when you bought a mood ring or something? I don't remember that.
Well, yeah, it was the idea. Say it was in the same genre as that, but it was like a serious book about the your natural rhythms, and they had it in three, and you could put in your birthday, and then you figure out when because it would happen, I don't know, a couple times a year or something that you would be peaking in all three, and that's when you were supposed to undertake or do things, that required all
Wasn't there
required all
a
three.
cult church that was formulated up that book Diuretics or something like that?
Yeah, it's called Scientology.
Scientology. Is that what it was?
Yeah, just a little religion.
Well, you know that's not real, right? Come on.
Based on a hack sci-fi writer in the 40s or 50s,
I thought
whatever
the
it
guy was from
was.
UCF or something, wasn't he?
No, I'm sure there's some UCF grads who are part of Scientology, but
Yeah, Scientology. What a bunch of losers, man.
well, apparently they have a hold on being famous, so we probably
We
don't
sold
want
them
to.
furniture. I think it was Scientology down in Tampa. Where in that
Yeah, it's Saint just south of that, St. Peter's.
Clearwater, Tampa, somewhere over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
couldn't go inside though. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to tell you what kind of furniture you need if you don't let me in?
Well, I
Sign
went
here.
to a meet years ago. I went to a meeting down in Tampa, and a friend, I guess there's Gasparilla or something is near there. I forget what the area is
I
called.
don't know.
And so I found this parking garage. I parked in it, and I'm walking up the street, and I'm noticing it felt weird, walking up the street, and I realized that I parked in the Scientology parking garage, and I went to a bar across the street
Was
and
there a
met someone.
camera?
Yeah, I felt like it because then we went to a restaurant across the street. It was open air, outside kind of thing. And man, we just had so many questions for the server about because it was right across the street from the front door of the facility there. It was just I didn't know nearly as much about it as I do now. Uh, was it Leia Remini or whatever? She did that whole
From the UPS driver show,
yeah, King of
King of
King of
Queens.
Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did that whole documentary series because she had been part of the quote unquote religion, but broke free of it. And, there's all sorts of mysterious things they've been able to keep a tight
Tom Cruise.
lid. Yeah, a tight lid on all the happenings there. So, but apparently you
Nah,
got to pay a lot of money.
yeah, I think all of it, but yeah. So
So,
what do you think? We brought our administrator, and she's not our minute. What do we call her? She's our
yeah.
assistant of some description,
No. Our not investigative lead,
investigative
but
reporter.
God, now you got me screwed up on what I wanted to call her. Our intern, if you will, someone who looks up information for
Yeah,
us.
so here she is. Can you see?
Research assistant.
Research
That's what
assistant.
yeah.
So she's up on a pedestal now. It's actually a
Hey,
tripod.
it's just showing there. So
Yeah, it's barely
is
there.
that so you don't have to hold her at the microphone?
Yeah, and it works out pretty well. I just turn it this way, and there's a match made in heaven.
Do
Works
you
out pretty
want
good.
to let her do her introduction?
Hey, Alexa, why don't you fire up the introduction to episode 121 of We Can Help with Dave and Woody?
Spotify can't play by episode number yet, but you can ask for the podcast by name and
Okay.
navigate episodes from there.
She gets hung up in that. Alexa, can you do an intro for tonight's episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody?
Ah, you're looking for a custom intro for your podcast. I'd be happy to whip one up for you. Let's give your listeners something catchy to kick off the show. How about this? Welcome, word enthusiasts and puzzle aficionados. You're tuned in to We Can Help with David and Woody, the show where two friends turn everyday conundrums into comedic gold. Tonight, your hosts Dave and Woody are ready to unravel another tapestry of topics, armed with nothing but their wit, wisdom, and a healthy dose of wordplay. So sit back, relax, and prepare for an episode that's equal parts hilarious and helpful. It's time to dive into episode 121 of We Can Help with David and Woody.
Okay. Hey, very nice.
She's going to keep talking now. You know it.
Comedic gold.
Here she goes.
And Woody, get the show rolling with some flair.
It's gold, Woody. Gold.
Gold. It's cold, I tell you.
And if you know, our listeners know where that line's from, comment in the comments below.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I did jump, cut in there, but a little housekeeping to do. So last week we
Housekeeping.
we did knock. We did a little, God, I'm just stuck for words tonight. I apologize. We trialed doing a crossword puzzle on our show, and it was a huge hit on YouTube, but at least for our YouTube listeners, because I have access to the stats, is 100% likes on the YouTube version, buddy. So we'll have to think about doing another one.
But
in
you
the
polled the
future.
office workers, and they all said 2 thumbs up.
No, there's a little like button on YouTube, and I got no down thumbs, only up thumbs. So 100%. It said 100% likes on the on our screen on our page. So, but
better than that. Go ahead.
I was so busy doing all the typing in of the characters and helping you solve the puzzle that I remember I said the theme of the puzzle, which was hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
I said is usually in the 3 longest answers. And the first one was Plymouth Rock. And I'm like, well, what's that got to do with hand-to-hand combat? And then when I was replaying the show for the video portion, I noticed that the third, remember we made fun of the third longest answer. Instead of nail clippers, it was nail scissors.
Scissors, yeah.
So we have rock and we have scissors.
Oh.
What do you think the middle clue? I forget what the middle clue. Something paper. So we missed the theme. So I'm sure a lot of the listeners are like, these idiots didn't see that hand-to-hand combat was rock, paper, scissors. Pretty interesting, huh?
Oh, man. That's the kind of stuff that just...
you miss it. You get one chance to catch it. Yeah. But, and then one other item, one of our listeners reached out. Danny S. And I remember I was having memory of Jetson working for a cog company, but we asked our research assistant there, and she said, "No, you're a moron. It was Spacely Space Sprockets that he worked for," and we let it at that. And I was like, "Well, maybe because cog," but it turns out that I got to be careful saying this. Spacely Space Sprockets' main competitor was Cogswell Cosmic Cogs. So that's why I had a memory of cogs. And I had no idea what a cog was, but they were a competitor of a sprocket company, which I knew was a gear. So, I never made that leap. So a little
Mr. Cogswell's first name was Spencer.
How do you know that?
Well, I keep reading. And that was revealed in the second season of the Jetsons.
So people actually collected that. His first name was Spencer Cogswell.
Yeah.
And I kind of do remember how George would get in trouble with him all the time
Like
because
asking for days off or something like that. I
yeah,
don't
well,
remember anything.
Spacely was a real mean boss to some
A
extent.
curmudgeon.
Yeah, and so Cogswell would, always be trying to steal their secrets and stuff, or hire George away, or something, some sort of caper of that magnitude.
Were you that intuitive to the storyline at that age, or were you just mesmerized by the and the spaceship, the things that happen?
I always liked all the little like future inventions that we were going to get to partake in, like the walkway, the moving walkways, which now we have at the airports.
What about the dog? What was that space dog?
Astro?
Yeah,
Was he? Yeah, he was Astro, right? Yeah,
I don't know.
he was a robot dog, man.
Yeah,
Who was a robot dog?
I don't know. I mean, I guess how would you walk a dog to go to the bathroom if you're in space?
Well, do you need to walk a robot dog, Dave?
No, that's what I'm saying. That was the idea behind. You still had the love and tenderness
Oh.
and the friendship of a dog, but you didn't have to have the floating excrement and the urination. That was
Now, I'm going to test you here. What was the maid's name?
I don't know.
Or his hot daughter?
I don't remember the characters. Do you?
Oh,
Obviously.
just George Jetson and the kid's, the boy's name was like Elmo or
Okay,
Ask our research assistant for the families.
Alexa, can you give us the names of the Jetson family members?
The Jetson family
Elroy.
consists of George, Jane, Judy, and Elroy.
Thank you.
What was the dog's name?
Astro.
The Jetson family dog's name is Astro.
And the maid?
The Jetson family's maid is named Rosie.
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 There we go. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Rosie is the name of the Jetson family's maid. She's a robotic housekeeper who helps keep the futuristic Jetson home running smoothly.
Yeah, we know that, Alexa. I don't think we asked you that, did we?
Woody's got a little bit of an issue with our assistant. I think he feels intimidated.
He just
I think she's clearly smarter than he is, and he feels a little intimidated.
Good Lord. Oh, man. Earlier before the show, I told her to read the room and stop talking. She told me I was right.
She goes,
You're
okay.
right.
I got a little over my skis. I'm sorry, Mr. Woody. Please don't fire me.
Now
Kinsey, you gotta love them. But
So when the robots attack later, I'll be the first to go.
when the machines, when you're asleep. Oh God!
Man,
it's the end as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Oh, okay. You got anything this week you wanna bring up?
Well, I had a little issue this week. I told you about it, but
You did?
Costco. So Sheila joined Costco. It's been 15 years since we were members at Costco.
Oh, not you haven't been members for 15 years.
That's
it's
right.
Been 15 years.
No, we have not been members.
Okay.
The last time, now you screwed me up. The last time we had a membership was 15 years ago. Does
There
that
you
make sense?
go.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to clear it up for listeners.
And the reason we quit going because I was asked to never come back.
Are you serious?
You? So the good news is that store is a long ways away from us, so I would never go there anyway.
You sure when you tried to register again, or like a little?
Well, she had to register. I was the primary. If you know anything about Costco, it's like a membership, and so
I'm surprised that like a don't fly list. You're
they
on
said
a no fly list for Costco.
You're not kin to Dave, are you? And she goes, No, we're not together. And
Were you at liberty to say? Are you at liberty to tell us why you were banned? The original time.
A long time ago, I wasn't quite as lovable and cuddly as I am now. I was an angry man. Let's just put it that way. And
I
it was
saw that at the McDonald's a year or two ago.
Yeah, taking the fist to the clouds was just the beginning. I was not someone that did well in crowds. Let's put it that way. And so Costco was just pretty much starting out. So there wasn't really a lot of people back then, but a lot of old folks pushing carts around. And I've done some research and found out that the way they lay out their stores on purpose, it's called treasure hunt. In the retail space, it's called treasure hunting. And so if you know at your local grocery store, you start off on one aisle, typically down the, I don't know if they start off on the produce or bakery aisle, whatever, but everything in the store is consistently the same place every day. You got your soups, your spices, whatever. It's always the same aisle. And so,
But
hold on, the end caps change, but the grocery store has a uniformity that is consistent, and everybody kind of gets in line and starts right to left or whatever, and you go about your business. But at Costco and these big box stores, they've incorporated this floor format called treasure hunting. And so they literally move the pallets. It's like, what's the old Helen Keller joke? If you want to piss off Helen Keller, move the furniture.
I am not part of that joke, Dave.
You told me that joke.
I did not.
Anyway, so I think at night the whole crew comes in and they move all the crap around in the store, and there's no system to it. And so you come in looking for something, and everybody's like on a mission, darting back and forth across the store with their carts, right? This 600-pound cart they're pushing around. So we go on Sunday to our new store over by where we live, and it's like they were, I guess they are handing out free stuff. The other thing is these free samples they give out. There's people, I think they call ahead for reservations or something, man. I tell you, they just queue up and they won't leave. They won't leave. I'm like, can you move up, sir? And he goes, well, no, she's opening a new packet. I'm not leaving. So
I think for me, I'm going to butt in. For me, there's a little bit of, I feel obligated to talk to the person because they're hawking some goods. I'm getting something for free. So I give them a little conversation about the product. Act like I may buy some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is very delicious. Where are these? On aisle 9? Honey, aisle 9. We're going over there now.
We'll see you later.
So anyway, I was having some pretty bad flashbacks of this last trip. I was there on Sunday, and Sheila had not been with me in a long time to one of these events, and she had forgotten the cues that start to set me off. And I started to get a little concerned because I actually did some Google search and said, let's see if we can do this. Alexa, is there a condition where men struggle to shop at Costco?
While there's no specific medical condition, some men may find shopping at Costco challenging due to personal preferences or relationship dynamics. The overwhelming selection and large store layout can be daunting for some shoppers, regardless of gender.
So it's really just a you problem, is what she's saying.
Well, yeah.
I can't exactly struggle with Costco since I lack the ability to push a cart or get trapped behind
All
someone.
right.
Okay, stop. Alexa, stop. So it's the same problem I have with drive-through menus that are overcrowded.
Now that is a common issue for men.
Okay, so you experience that too, obviously. You've told me that.
Yeah, and I've heard other people complain about it too. I have my kids order now.
So I call it spatial disorder. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I did some Google search, and so she says I'm on the spectrum. She goes, well, something's wrong with you. You must be on the spectrum. I'm like, honey, that's not very nice to say, first of all, for the kids that are on the spectrum. And for me to be associated with them, that's not helpful to them.
Well, and that's one thing about a spectrum. Everybody's on the spectrum. You're just you're just at the very low end,
just at the bad end. But anyway,
well, whatever end there is. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah.
Right.
So needless to say, I didn't get trespassed. I think I sent you a text that I just got trespassed from Costco.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what trespass meant. That's what it was.
That means legally don't come back. That's when the sheriff shows up and says, Mr. Dave, you're going to jail. Are you going to sign this and say you're never coming back to the premises? So what don't you have mine on record?
What'd you get all so bent out of shape about? Just that there's a line?
No. So okay, here's the thing. So when I go shopping at Publix, let's say, or Winn-Dixie, I have this system where I get all my frozen food last.
That's usually why it's at the far end of the store.
Well, and so I do all my canned goods and my dry goods in the cart, and then I'm thinking about what I'm going to get for frozen because I don't want it to thaw, as I say, I don't want to have rotting food in the car as I'm going home. We live in Florida, right? And so in Costco, there's acres and acres of these freezer cabinets, and you really have to have a list to go in there, otherwise you'll go bankrupt if you're not prepared. Everything's $15. You could be $1,500 in the cart like in about 10 minutes. And so she starts to look at things. She picked up some frozen vegetables. Obviously, she got them home without them rotting the last time she did it without me.
Wow.
But she goes, "Do you want to get these again?" And so my answer was no, which each time she said something was no, which was pissing her off, and rightfully so, because I didn't want it to, have rotting food in the car because I knew
You
we
couldn't
weren't going to
possibly go back later in a shopping trip and get it?
No, we were heading out toward the end, but it was sporadic. But the problem was I can't process with all this stuff going on. I can't make decisions. So I guess if if I was in battle and I'm in the foxhole and they're coming up over the hill, I'm probably not the guy you want in the foxhole with you. You know what I mean? Because
Well, at least in charge of the foxhole.
Yeah.
Should we retreat, Dave? I don't know.
I don't know. Just start firing and stuff. So that's as I've gotten older, I realize that. And so it's like fight or flight, and so I get into this mood where I'm like, I just got to get out of here before I start running people over with the
You
carts.
start acting like a gorilla and knocking everything over.
That's what happened 15 years ago. That's why I was asked to leave.
Pushing carts and old ladies over.
I said, he's turning green, man. Don't get him all pissed off. She's 90 years old. Get out of my way.
Yeah. So
No.
is that what happened?
Yeah.
15 years ago?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Would you tell off the cashier or something?
No, I had this guy. So what happens is, everyone's got a mission, right? When they go there, they got a mission. And so maybe they weren't cognitive to the fact that I was in front of them with their cart. And so I'm trying to process and think. So I'm moving a little bit slower than the average guy. And these guys and women, are driving their carts like 600 miles an hour, like there's a sale that's getting ready to go off and they got to get to it,
The old blue light special.
Yeah. So at any point during my visit to Costco, I'm like, hey, back off, buddy. Get off my heels, And then one lady at the store on Sunday, she ran right into me. I'm like, I'm standing right here, lady. Can you not? But she was on a mission. She had to cut me off to get down the aisle. And so what happens is it starts to well up.
Yeah.
It starts to escalate. And so I can feel it coming. And once
that's when you just leave the cart with Sheila and walk out the front door.
Well, it just hadn't happened in 15 years. And the recollection was a little slower than usual. And then it was like full on. I was like, oh no, this guy's coming out of his shell again. We can't have him in the store. So I pissed her off. She got mad at me and threw stuff at me and then ran for the checkout lane.
Oh, good. Was it something hard? Like to hit you in the head?
No, it was stuff that I wanted. It was it was chicken meat sticks. So she goes, screw you.
Chicken meats. Oh, that sounds so good. Chicken meat stick.
Yeah, with lips, chicken lips.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, so I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Costco again or not. It's not a good scene.
I was looking through my notes because a couple things I want to talk about would be it's related to the airline industry and considering the occurrence of yesterday's UPS plane. I'll reserve those for another day, but I'll be curious to see what comes of all that. So.
What did I have? 250,000 gallons of gas on board.
Well, I was taken off to go to Hawaii from Kentucky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was.
Did I hear they survived? I thought someone said
no.
Okay, I thought someone said there was
unless
only three
unless
people on
something
plane.
came out in the last hour or so. No, watching the footage of that
Yeah, it was
that would
brutal.
be a true miracle. So
Now that one was taken off, though. I don't want to get too
yeah,
far into this because
yeah.
a very good friend of mine who was a client, he flew for he flew 777s for FedEx freight.
Oh, okay.
And years ago, that other UPS plane went down on landing and crashed.
Wasn't that in Asia or something? I forget.
No, it was here in the United States.
Well,
And he said,
the one going into Birmingham. Yeah.
yeah, and he said the guys fell asleep. And so what
Yeah, I
happened?
kind of sort of remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all autopilot until the landing, which he said they could
Thank
land. They could land
autopilot.
autopilot as well, but at some point they have to switch it off, and
I
then
think
they
only
didn't wake up.
humans can put it in reverse, maybe. The reverse thrusters when they land.
No, he said
It'll
that.
do all of
And
it? Okay.
no, he said that in fact, FedEx at the time, if it wasn't for the pilots union, was lobbying for autonomous flights, and he said
Yeah.
it's ready to go. They can
Yeah, I would
The
think
only thing they
so.
need to do is get it taxied away from the gate, so they have to push it out. Someone has to, back it up,
Well,
and
they've been
then
thinking about making that autonomous as well. So someone driving that vehicle that pushes the plane back, that they would take them out. It would instead take it all the way out to the runway and then let them start up their engines so they're not taxiing so long with the engines running.
I don't
I
know.
think there's a
It's
company out in Oklahoma pushing for that. But
crazy.
yeah, so Heidi, you had me think of something, and then anyhow, yeah, tragic. Right. Oh, I know what it was. I usually wait a while to start reading articles about it because everything at this point is just people guessing and all over the place. That's why I can't watch the news anymore, right? Everybody has an opinion about what someone sneezed. Well, you know what that meant, right? That meant, it's like, no, unless you downloaded his brain thoughts, you have no idea what that meant.
I got a pretty
But
good idea.
I did see, yeah, I did see a picture of, and if it's a legitimate picture, one of the engines was still on the runway. So that would be a strong indicator that there was a colossal failure during. I don't mean, again, I'm
Oh, you
not
mean okay?
laughing.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's reserve to find out.
judgment. Yeah, for
Yeah,
another day.
I
But
don't. We're probably not
yeah,
going to make fun of that either. I just don't.
no.
I didn't ship anything to Hawaii that week, so that's good.
Yeah, you're a safe
Yeah,
bet. Or maybe you did. It was a set of gold golf clubs, Dave.
no. Anyway,
Anywho,
um, so we are. School's going along pretty well. The kids are driving me crazy, but it is what it is. So we're making through it. I did have one other kind of run-in story. Wow. I'll
do you
give you a
remember it?
stock update that's kind of cool, if you don't mind. I'm not going to get into too many details, but part of the strategy that I'm developing along the way, in case you don't know, listen, if you're a new listener to the show, 2 years ago, when I'm 62 now, so 2 years ago, I started a Roth IRA just to play around with, and the market's
You
taken
waited
it.
till you were 60 to get a Roth IRA.
No, it's another one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so
I'm like a little late, don't you think?
no. So anyway, so what the hell was I talking about?
Your stock, your strategy.
Yeah, so we're waiting for third quarter earnings. Everyone's sitting on the fence waiting to hear what third quarter earnings. In fact, I've got this sheet
It's
that
been a
I
month.
well, it's coming. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holdings, 6 holdings that have earnings coming out on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 10th, the 13th, and the 17th.
Good
So,
Lord, how long does it take them?
well, apparently a little while. So everything's been kind of like wait and see. And so I came up with this idea. Now I'm playing around with small cap stocks. So we're anywhere from, I got a couple of them that are less than $1 a share,
It's
upwards of
easy to double your money, though.
yeah, $2 or $3 a share. And I said,
Right.
you know what? I'm just going to find companies I'm buying at 52-week lows. Okay, they have good stories. Fundamentals are, some of them are net losers, but fundamentals are pretty strong as best as I can find out.
What
And I'm
kind of
just
fundamentals you mean?
Well, are
Like
they profitable? Are
okay,
they
KPIs, not people.
key performance indicators?
Yes, you're measuring them on those kind of things, not the people themselves.
Well, what I say, fundamentals. Fundamentals is the financials. Are they
Okay.
sound companies? Are they profitable?
Well, I thought, man, are the people behind the company sound and fundamental?
I mean,
That's
who knows?
all
It's
right. That's what I was going
relevant.
to get on your case about.
So, I've got a list. So what I'm doing is this: I'm just trying to get as many shares as I can because at some point it's going to grow, right? Some of them are
Well, you
already
hope.
moving. Well, that's the hope, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm at almost 9,000 shares right now. And so my obviously the more the better. My initial target was 11,000 shares because I feel like every stock that I own has the potential to be a $3 to $5 stock. Realistically, 3 to 5. Some of them may
Right.
break more than that. So if I'm sitting on 11,000 shares at $5, there's $55,000 with about a $14,000 investment, $13,000 investment. So anyway, it's been fun to pick up some new stuff and to find out.
Well, it's fun
Um,
because it's going up.
yeah, so far I've been very blessed. Where this month was a little tough because of the earnings and things kind of got stale, but I was pretty smart. I took 40% of the money and I put it in some American funds, and they're sitting in growth stock portfolios. And so it's kind of a balanced account, if you will, 40%, even though they're growth and it's too aggressive for my age. When the big board's doing well, they're doing great. And when the big
What are they
board's
called?
not,
The beta or something like that, right?
well, the beta
That
is
they
what it,
measure risk on.
yeah, that's beta would be one, and that means it correlates with the 500 for the
Okay.
with the exchange. So don't get caught up in that fundamental. Some of these have betas like 4 and 9, and they're pretty risky and aggressive. But the point is, I'm trying to acquire as many shares as I can get. And so some of it I acquire through horse trading. I'll make some money on a stock. And let's say I pick up an extra $600 in profit. I turn around and buy more shares. So every time I've done this, the goal is to get more shares. So we'll keep you up to date. So far, it's doing pretty well.
Sounds like it.
It's fun because I get to learn about some new companies, which is kind of cool. Um, and I got
So
to go ahead. There was
no, no, no. What you said, is it tied into
well,
the
one
same thing?
one of the companies is that company that's doing the Bitcoin mining, and they're
Oh
also
yeah.
it's forced me to learn about this data center. Oh, I do have one quick story. Um, so everyone's been talking about AI and how much energy AI is going to take. And I don't know if you caught 60 Minutes this past week with President Trump, but it was a good interview, and I'm going to share something. As I tell my kids, this isn't about being political. You can love the man or hate him. I don't care. But he said something I thought was pretty eye-opening. And by the way, this is how I get some of my information for the stock I'm looking at. So he's the lady who's interviewing him is saying, "Hey, AI, Mr. President, we're going to lead this against China. Is China going to kick our butt?" But we all know the big problem is energy, and this AI, artificial intelligence, is going to demand more energy than our current grid can handle. And so, how are we going to do this? How are we going to stay competitive? He goes, "Well, I don't know if you hadn't heard the news, but for all these people that are building these data centers, they're going to need reasonable power supply cost wise to run the computers and to run the air conditioning units, right?" And so I'm talking to the Department of Energy, and we're clearing the table for requests for permitting, and they're going to build their own power supplies at the site. And this is where those small nuclear reactors are going to come in. And then this ties back to the uranium thing we talked about. And so he says, we're going to allow them to permit these small nuclear reactors to run these 600,000 million square foot data centers. And then anything above and beyond their needs, they're going to be able to sell back to the grid, the power grid. And we're not going to have to go out and spend years trying to redevelop an antiquated, power grid that's over 150 years old. We can keep fixing it, but we'll never fix it fast enough to catch up for the AI. So I was like, listen carefully, folks. What he's saying is, here's the answer where nuclear power is coming back to the table. It's not going to be in these monumental 60-year-old technology. It's going to be in these small reactors, and we're going to need uranium. And natural gas is going to fuel these little power plants as well, because they can actually build a natural gas footprint on like super small, and they don't have to boil any water. They don't have to have any turbines. The turbines are turned by the jet engines that are there for the power supply. So there's some pretty cool stuff. So I've got a company that's oil and gas, oil and natural gas, that out of the Permian Basin in Texas, and then another company that mines uranium, and they're a play. And then I picked up that data center, the one that's mining the Bitcoins, and they're taking the Bitcoin as an asset to offset on their balance sheet, and they're building the data center in Michigan. So, and that's just from listening to the news. That's how I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'll be curious. Yeah, I don't know. They use small nuclear reactors on some of the, like aircraft carriers and submarines and things of that nature. So the technology is there. It's just the environmental piece and things of that nature have to be ironed out, right? It's like when I was I was part of the cellular industry and its growth years, and everybody wanted cell phone coverage, but no one wanted a tower in their backyard, right?
Especially ones that look like trees.
Yeah, well, whatever the case, right? That was an attempt to placate those. I always remember early on, there's a neighborhood school just on the outskirts of my neighborhood, an elementary school, and a provider. It wasn't even my company I was working for was trying to permit a tower on the adjoining property. And everybody went berserk. And I'm telling everybody, your property value is going to go up. They're like, why? Why would my property with an ugly tower? I'm like, because you'll have cell phone coverage. You'll have, you'll have all this
Internet
coverage that normally you wouldn't have. And in 5 to 10 years, you're going to want cell phone coverage in your house. And they're like, well, what if the tower falls? It might hit my kid. I'm like, oh my God. And then what about the electromagnetic radiation coming? I'm like, well, if you know anything about towers, it's safer to be under a tower than it is to be a mile away from a tower, because the antennas are angled at a way that there's a shadow under the tower. You don't push all your coverage to the base of the tower. There's no one there. You push it out, farther away.
This reception is great. 3 feet from the base of the tower.
Right. And so, of course, none of that prevailed at the time. And no, a tower did not got pushed out. And 15 years later, now it's across the street at a church, masked as a cross, a tower that is to hold up the cross.
Yeah,
but it's down in a hole.
They're paying that church $8,000 a month for
probably, yeah. And it's down in a hole. It's not nearly as high as it would have been had it been and now our coverage in my neighborhood is sloppy at best, right? Just this afternoon I was outside doing some stuff, and I'm like, this is exactly so. Although there are safety factors and things of that nature, I think have been mitigated to some extent when nuclear energy comes. You're still going to have the problem of nuclear waste, and I don't know what you do with it. That's the biggest issue. We cannot find a place to put the waste.
It goes in a big hole in the ground somewhere.
Well, they tried it, and that community got it stopped. Right. Every time they go under cover of night to try and build a new nuclear waste site, and someone gets wind of it, and it's just stopped. Because
Can I tell you about the time we went through? It's a little town in Illinois, on the border of Illinois and Kentucky, where Superman's from. What is that?
No clue.
What's the town in the comic books where Superman's from?
Ask your research assistant.
Alexa, what is the small town in Kentucky where Superman's from?
Superman's childhood home is actually Smallville, Kansas, not Kentucky. Smallville was first named in Superboy comics in 1949 and has since been established as Superman's fictional hometown in Kansas.
No, there's a town where maybe the lady was from, but there's a giant
Lois Lane.
statue of Superman. Where is
Maybe
that?
the author of Superman's from there.
The giant Superman statue you're thinking of is in Metropolis, Illinois. This small
There.
town has embraced its connection to Superman, featuring a large bronze statue of the Man of Steel in its town square.
Okay, so you ready for this?
Yeah.
You want to know what Metropolis is also known for?
No.
Really? What's Metropolis, Kentucky known for besides the Superman statue?
Yeah, is there something to do with a nuclear cleanup site?
Oh, it's one of those.
Let's see if she knows.
Maxey Flats in Fleming County, not Metropolis, is Kentucky's low-level radioactive waste site that operated from 1963 to 1977. It's
I
now
just-
a Superfund cleanup site
Yeah.
due to plutonium contamination.
So
I read
we're
an
in-
article in Popular Mechanics about that. Now.
So we're in Metropolis, right? We're coming back from St. Louis. We got a van full of my kids and my wife, and we're like, "Hey, this is going to be cool." So we pull into Metropolis.
to see the
there's-
Superman thing.
There's this giant I mean, he's like 10
Right.
stories tall. And
You
so-
weren't excited about seeing the nuclear waste site. You were excited about the Superman statue.
Illinois is located
Right.
in
Alexa,
Town
stop. Let me tell the story, please. Stop. All right. Anyway, like she was there in the van. Okay. Anyway, so we pull in, and it's this cool little town, right? And so it's
Yeah.
got all these little storefronts with comic books. Everything's Superman.
Yeah, of course.
So we're taking pictures of the statue. It's we're standing underneath it. Sarah's underneath it. We're
feeling a
all
little warm. You're feeling a little warm and tingly.
yeah, Sarah's glowing. What's going on? Anyway, so as we normally do, we're saying, hey, it's kind of a cute community, and we're looking at for sale signs in the neighborhood. Then it dawns on me and say, wait a minute. I mean, this isn't like Disney World, but it's a pass through community. There's nobody on the streets. So I'm like, honey, doesn't it seem a little odd? That shouldn't there be? I mean, it's a normal part of the day. Shouldn't there be somebody here? And
Right.
she's like, yeah, there's not a single person walking down the street. And so this is early cellular. So I don't, how
Yeah.
much we didn't have really Google. I don't know how we did it.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm driving or she's driving. So I said, wait a minute, don't get out of the car. Just hang on a second. So I'm looking this up, and it goes, this is the home of this super. What do they
Cleanup,
call that?
or- yeah, whatever
The
it's
super
called,
fun
yeah.
cleanup site. I'm like,
Okay.
holy crap. The whole place is tainted from Westinghouse, I think is what it was. And I said, do not get out of the car. Do not drink anything. Mash the
Yeah.
gas. Let's get the hell out of here. And there were homes for sale, like 6,000 square feet, beautiful ranch,
Couple $100.
couple hundred, like $150,000. I'm like, we should live here. And it's a super fun cleanup site. I'm like, no, God.
Yeah, that's the risk, right? It's I don't know what it's one of those until they find a way to do something with the nuclear waste that'll be forever.
Just burn it, set it on fire, and let the.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Why can't we launch it into space?
Well, it might come back. I guess that's the or what if it explodes on takeoff? Look at how many
Wait a
rockets
minute, we got to move it from the Cape,
SpaceX.
though. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to put
Exactly.
the headquarters
A
over
little
in
too close to
California.
home for David, right? There we go. Everybody wants nuclear power. Nobody
Not
wants
in
a
my
nuclear
backyard.
waste.
No way.
No one wants a nuclear waste site. So, yeah, I'll be surprised. That is a major hurdle.
Maybe that's what Iceland's about, or Greenland. Which one is it?
Yeah,
Greenland?
it was Iceland. No, Greenland. Sorry, Greenland.
Yeah. So we get Greenland. It's strategic, and we just dump all of our nuclear waste over there. I mean, nobody lives in the middle of the thing.
I don't trust the government to be responsible for something as, and I don't trust anybody for that matter, because if you privatize it, all they're going to do is cut costs until it does become an issue. So, who do you trust with it, right? So
Well,
it's a nightmare, and then you get, and then there's everything comes out of that, dirty bombs, access to it. It's just ridiculous. It's tough. I like the idea of nuclear power, but they do have to figure out something to do with the waste. And I don't think it's that far-fetched to think some school somewhere that possibly gets some funding from the government, not the United States anymore, is probably working on a solution for
well,
that.
MIT is all over it. I was reading some articles from MIT about this smaller reactors.
Okay. Well, like I said, the reactor itself is fine. It's the waste. If someone figures out what to do with the waste, we're kind of screwed. So
those little things that they give the kids during Halloween that you break them.
Oh, glow sticks.
Yeah.
Glow. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Save money on glow sticks, kids. Get these.
They're free.
You're helping the environment.
And it says made in Metropolis, whatever it is.
Metropolis. Yeah.
Metropolis. Hey, man, it's time to say goodnight,
Oh, we were just getting rolling.
I know.
All right.
I know.
Well, sometimes the best things.
We'll hang up and start again right after this.
Well, there's an idea. All right. Well, we want to give a shout out to our friend Big Danny up in Virginia, fellow teacher. He was the one that came through solid as a rock on the Jetsons, the employer and the competitor.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big find. And then a shout out to the folks at Metropolis. Hope that you're
doing okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we didn't buy a property there. Anyway, listen to us on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like what we're doing, or even if you don't, just subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, like us. Yeah.
Listen, we're the only commercial-free act in town. I mean, you haven't had to blink once to push the skip button or next. None. I mean,
we worked a deal out with YouTube people, and it's costing us an arm and a leg.
Yeah, they don't pay us, and we don't get paid. Or
right.
Something.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, it's a lot of mumbo jumbo in the contract.
But maybe they need nuclear power to keep their data center running. So
probably. All right. Well, I think we've said enough. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll catch you on the next one. You've been listening to another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. All right, we'll see you.